Congress has passed a bipartisan bill to keep the government funded and avert a shutdown, at least for now. Lawmakers struck a deal last night with only a few hours remaining before that midnight deadline. Both the House and Senate voted to approve the funding measure to keep federal agencies open through November 17th. And in a dizzying turn of events, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy dropped his demands for steep spending cuts and relied on Democratic votes for passage of the bill. Now, it increases federal disaster assistance funding, but does not include aid for Ukraine, which, as you know, is a top priority for the White House. President Biden signed the measure late last night, saying he believed support for Ukraine would be approved later. Our teams in Washington have been following all of the developments this weekend. CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry is at the White House, but we start with CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion there in our D.C. bureau. So, Nikole, let's talk about the bill. What's in it, what was dropped, and how did it finally pass?
Well, this is a pretty benign bill in the sense that it is a clean, continuing resolution. And what that means is it continues to fund the government at current spending levels for the next 45 days, roughly through November 17th. And then, of course, the hope is that we don't necessarily have to go through this process all over again. The hope is that by that time, Congress will have been able to pass all of its 12 appropriations bills to fund the government on a longer-term basis. But what is included in this package is disaster relief. That is money that the White House had asked for and requested. What's not in the bill is funding for Ukraine. And of course, this just comes not long after the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited both members in the House and in the Senate. And there does appear to be a desire to move forward with Ukraine funding, some type of Ukraine funding package, but that could be a much heavier lift in the House than it will be in the Senate.
Nikole, let's get deeper into that, because since this continuing resolution fully drops aid to Ukraine, and that is such a priority for the White House, but something that a growing number of House Republicans have expressed displeasure with, do you expect that funding will be able to pass as a standalone measure for Ukraine?
Well, that is probably what we will see happen. Again, we have to see kind of what form and shape it takes. I mean, in terms of the government funding package, the White House had put forth about $6 billion, or in the Senate version of the continuing resolution, because keep in mind the Senate had its own version, which included that Ukraine funding. And again, that was about $6 billion. We know the White House has asked for much more, upwards of $24 billion. So it remains to be seen, but it seems the logical next step would be to split it off into its own supplemental package. But again, as I mentioned, that could be a very heavy lift in the House, because we know a lot of conservative Republicans have expressed concerns about providing more funding to Ukraine. That's part of the reason why it was dropped out of this temporary government spending package, because it just would have held things up further. And to your question about how this got done so quickly, obviously it did require bipartisan support, both in the House and the Senate. But part of that was taking out some of those more controversial elements. So does it make it any easier to pass Ukraine funding? Probably not. But it does seem like Speaker McCarthy appears to be committed. Certainly Democrats are committing Speaker Kevin McCarthy to bringing a vote up. Again, what form and shape that takes remains to be seen.
Well, in our final remaining moments, I want to ask you about that uneasy alliance between House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader, and Democrats, who he was really forced to rely on in order to pass the measure. Do you expect that hardline Republicans are going to punish him for that?
Well, I think so long as the Speaker has these very narrow margins, he will continue to face challenges. I mean, we know, for instance, that Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz has been a pretty vocal opponent of the Speaker, and he has not really dropped his threat to put forth this motion to vacate, which is the procedure that would be needed to take as far as trying to potentially oust the Speaker. But you heard the Speaker pretty vociferously yesterday say say, bring it if someone wants to try to oust him. So I don't think the Speaker is deterred or intimidated, and he has tried to kind of smack down these threats before. But again, as we move through this funding process to fund the government on a more long-term basis, and as we approach this deadline in mid-November, it's certainly possible we could see more tension and friction play out within the House Republican conference.
Yeah, I think he said, if someone wants to remove me because I'm the adult in the room, go ahead and try. All right, Nikole Killion, thank you.